Here again with Coach Swinson, and it's been a season. We've made it to the final week of the season. 2 games on the road. Again, I've said that a million times, feels like, over the past few weeks. And we'll talk about the game against New Orleans and UCA in just a minute. But want to get your thoughts on how things played out on Saturday. Had to be overall a kind of a frustrating day for you. Slow start. Seemed like we kind of figured it out in the second quarter there, 6 out of 12, really got back in the game, and then the third quarter kind of offense struggling again. So kind of up and down, but probably a frustrating day for you as a coach in the way that thing played out.
You know, this whole process I've been telling you, as well as I've been telling the people in the audience, that it's about consistency. And when we don't have that consistent results, we get the same thing that we, pretty much a loss. But I try to instill this in our players, one game at a time, one possession at a time, to do the little things, because it makes a big difference. We got into that stretch of not scoring the basketball, but at the end of the day, we still got to play defense. And so once we don't score, then all of a sudden we get to the point where we don't want to play defense, and that's really frustrating. But you can also make up a lack of, your ability to score, to make it up with your effort on defense. And I think once we kind of get that, then our games are a little bit better and definitely a lot different.
You mentioned that, and you've talked about that several times. There was a point, 3-4 minutes left in the second quarter, where we had cut the lead down to 3, I think it was, and then 4 straight possessions. We have turnovers, fouls, but we get the stops on the other end to kind of give us that opportunity, like you talked about, to maybe tie the game, maybe continue the run. Didn't happen. Is that just a bad luck kind of thing, or when you say, hey, we've worked our way back to this point, and then you fall back into the turnovers and the fouls and things to not allow yourself to have the opportunity to score and tie the game?
I think a lot of it has to do with just being focused. And when I say about being focused is when we have to sub out a player, we want the next player to come in to understand the game plan. And don't forget the things that we talked about throughout the course of the preparation for that game. And again, it got to the point where I thought maybe we started kind of building, finally got our way back in the game. And I think one point in the game, I think we had a technical foul. And that slowed down and changed the momentum of the game. And like I said, now they get 2 shots and they get the possession. So now, where's the morale? Where's the leadership? We want to make sure that no matter what we do in a game, we got to have leadership. And I think we're building that, but at the same time, it's kind of like when you're out on the court, you got to have your players to be those leaders out there on the floor as well. So, I really do truly think that once we get that over the hump, then I think our ball club will be a whole lot better.
Moving into this week, like I said, UNO on Wednesday, Central Arkansas on Saturday. These 2 teams are ones that you faced before as interim head coach. So, it probably doesn't change any type of preparation or anything that you would normally have, but is that a factor coming into this week?
Well, you live and learn from what you've done before. So as a coach, I go back and I watch the film on what could I have done differently? What could we have done for the players? What player could I have out on the floor that could have made a difference? What combination we had, what play that we ran, what defense that we had against their offense. So those things that you take in consideration, now that I've watched that as a coach, in terms of being the interim head coach against this team for the first time, that I go back and I say, maybe I should have did this different. You think about that now, during the game, the floor of the game is kind of different. But you look at it now and you go, okay, let me see if I can make some adjustments here and there. And we've done that. Today, practice was phenomenal. I'm like, guys, why do we wait till the last week of the season to really play the way we practiced today? I said, where did that come from? I mean, it was verbal. People were flying around, playing good defense, boxing out, getting the rebounds, running the floor. I'm like, this is what we talked about way back, early on in the season. Today makes 114th practice. So it took 114 practice for them to really get it. So at the same time, I'm glad some of them are doing the things that we talked about. But now it's a little late, and I want the young players on the team to understand you can't wait till the last minute to do things that you're supposed to be doing at the beginning, because you do it early, you learn, you grow, and then next thing you know, the L's are not L's, they're W's.
kind of looking back and thinking back on that game, the first game with UNO, like I said, was your first one as interim head coach, and team came out energy. Really, we had the 23, had an 11-point lead, 1 point early in the game, 23-20 after the first quarter, and then the drop off kind of happened in that second quarter. The second half was pretty even, I would say. Overall, just couldn't make up for that second quarter slump that we had. Are you expecting, I know you're wanting that kind of energy to be sustained, we talked about that after that game, but how do you get to that level and maintain it as you know that you can play well against this New Orleans team, and because you've done it, and how do you do that again?
Well, the thing about it is we have to go out there and understand that the game is going to be a game of mistakes. We're going to have some mistakes here and there, but just go out there and just play hard. You know, if you get tired, we'll sub you in, we'll sub you out, however it goes. We just want to make sure we play hard. And I told them at the beginning of that game, we first played them early on, it's going to be emotionally high because now you got a new coach and someone that you're very familiar with. But at the same time, just play your game. And I think what happened to us, we gave out of gas in the second half. And they were just so emotional, like, want to try to get this win. We know we can get this win. But now you got to have consistency in it. So you got to not only just pace yourself, but you just got to know when to do things, when to slow things down, when to run. And hopefully we will have a better turnout here, here on Wednesday.
Right. Final quick thoughts about UNO. They have a pretty good post player down there. She's kind of on top of the conference in blocks and really a big presence down there. We rotate a lot of people around that. Haven't gotten the consistency in that position that I know you want. Do you feel like that's a big factor in Wednesday's game? I think
all of it is a big factor. Not only just in the post, but I think even their guard play is phenomenal. There's a young lady I think she's number 10. But anyway, she didn't play the first time we played them. She's a shooter, so we got to make sure we concentrate on her too. We can't leave her wide open. You know, the young lady that come off the bench, number 3. You know, she's a penetrator. She's one of those firecracker type players that really gets hot. She's hot, and of course the post play, big post play in there. Like I said, we got to do our job to make sure we do what we got to do against her. You know, the game plan today was phenomenal. Hopefully we can carry that over, and we have a different outcome here on Wednesday.
Final 2 games of this season, just as an overarching look at this week, what are you hoping to see out of your team as we go into the offseason?
I just want them to play hard. You know, we win, that'd be great. That's a bonus. But I want them to play hard. If they play hard, you never know what could come out of this. But I want them to set an example for those younger kids, because they need to see leadership out there on the floor every single time, every single possession, even in practice. You know, today was a phenomenal day. I'm sorry to keep talking about that, but it was. That's something. When I see that as a coach, you go, where did that come from? Like, we want to see that all the time. And I'm sure people, if they'd have came and watched today's practice, they'd have been like, hey, where did that come from? But we want to build from that. You know, like I told them, don't let today just be today. Let's carry that over tomorrow, so then tomorrow carries over to Wednesday and we get a victory. But it's not going to be easy. Like I say all the time, when you play on someone else's home court, you're playing against almost 8 people, because you got the players, you got the referees. Because not saying anything bad about the referees, but they are who they are, and we got to deal with that. If they make a good call, so be it. If they make a bad call, so be it. But we have to respect them as well.
All right, Coach, we'll appreciate you, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you so much.